The story begins with a young woman named Melissa, who decided to leave behind her troubled life in the city. She is on her way to her new job as a forest ranger, where she will be responsible for a lookout tower. During the trip, her boyfriend Jaker sends several worried messages, and Melissa decides to respond, distracting herself for a few seconds. When she turns her attention back to the road, she comes across a man standing and, startled, stops the vehicle and gets out to look for him, but cannot find him. Upon returning, the man reappears behind her, scaring her. Melissa reprimands him for being there, reminding him that hunting season is over, but he remains silent, only informing her that Sam doesn't allow him to talk to her. Curious, Melissa asks who this man is, and soon her question is answered. Sam appears accompanied by another man. Sam explains that his friend Skeeter was just doing a favor by keeping an eye on the area. Intrigued by the weapons they carry, Melissa asks if they are hunting, but Sam states they are merely scouting and using the weapons to protect themselves from malicious people in the region. He adds that he checked the laws, and there is no prohibition against carrying arms in the forest. With no options, Melissa lets them go, asking them not to kill anything until next week. She heads to the lookout location and gets out of the car to open a locked gate. After driving the vehicle through, she returns to close the gate, but fails to notice that the car radio begins to act strangely. While closing the gate, a mysterious car approaches quickly. In a hurry and scared, Melissa closes the gate, and an unknown man stops the vehicle in front of her. They stare at each other for a few seconds, but deciding to avoid confrontation, she quickly returns to the car and leaves the place. Upon arriving at the lookout tower, Melissa meets a young man named Billy, who seems in a hurry to leave. She mentions what happened on the road, but Billy shows no interest and comments that Captain Edgewood doesn't like excuses. Melissa expresses her excitement about working there, but he remains indifferent, saying that the job is not demanding and that she will have all the time in the world. She just needs to survive a month without losing her sanity and stay busy. Billy also mentions that he has seen strange things in the area, which leaves Melissa apprehensive. He grabs the car keys and, before leaving, warns that supplies are sent once a week and hastily departs. Excited, Melissa climbs the lookout tower and finds some basic supplies. Shortly after, she gets bored and decides to bring the supplies inside. While trying to establish contact via radio, she discovers that it is not working because the generator is off. She rushes to turn it on and, glancing at the time, realizes she is late to report her activities. When she finally manages to communicate via radio, her boss expresses frustration, as on her first day, she has already fallen behind in her duties. She tries to explain the situation, but as Billy had warned, the boss doesn't like excuses and tells her to be more efficient. While using binoculars to write her report, she gets startled when a bird crashes into the glass. She informs about the incident, and her boss asks her to bury the bird, as this will prevent other animals from coming to the same fate. She finishes her report and hangs up the radio. Feeling frustrated on her first day, she decides not to let discouragement take over. She climbs down from the tower to bury the bird, and before doing so, takes a photo of the animal. Later, she makes the last report of the day and spends some time admiring the view from that location. During the night, while preparing her dinner, she hears another ranger on the radio and approaches to make contact. He identifies himself as Blue Mountain and asks her to call Station 12 so that the boss doesn't find out they are talking. The man, known as Roy, is happy to hear another voice. Roy mentions that he talked with Billy for a month, but time flew by. Melissa asks if he shouldn't have gone home already, and he answers that he will leave in 2 months since he took 3 consecutive shifts because he loves what he does. He observes that in the past, everyone wanted to be forest rangers, but nowadays it's hard to find volunteers. Melissa shares that she also volunteered for the service, which makes Roy happy. He then asks if she is chasing something or running away from something, but she doesn't understand. Roy explains that there are 2 types of rangers: those who are searching for something and those who are trying to escape something. He asks which of these she is, but before she can answer, he suggests they leave that conversation for tomorrow to avoid running out of topics, and hangs up, wishing her a good night. Melissa puts on her headphones and lays down to sleep while something shiny falls from the sky nearby. The next day, Melissa does her morning exercises and goes out to take a shower when she realizes someone is watching her from a distance. Feeling uncomfortable, she decides to return to the tower, and we discover it is Skeeter, who has been lurking around her. She uses the binoculars to check the situation in the forest, but doesn't see anyone. Putting that aside, Melissa does her report and decides to take a walk. On the way, she finds some beer cans thrown on the ground, but ignores them and continues until she encounters a trap. Using a stick, she disarms the trap and continues on when she comes across a strange skin with blue blood, which intrigues her. But soon, her attention turns to nearby noises. Upon investigating, she finds a discarded speaker in front of a tent. She turns off the speaker and looks inside the tent, but sees nothing. As she turns to leave, she finds a woman standing and watching her. Melissa asks if she is okay, but the woman speaks nonsensically. Upon noticing the burns on the woman's legs, Melissa quickly asks her to calm down, ensuring her that she will take her to the tower where they can get help. Melissa warns that the tower is a bit far, but that by walking slowly they will be able to reach it. When asking the woman's name, she discovers that she is called Conley. The two begin to walk, and as they move away, an immense burnt area in the tent becomes visible. The two arrive at the tower, and the young woman quickly sits Conley on the stairs while she continues to speak strange things. Melissa informs that she will go up to call for help and also find something to treat Conley's injuries. As she climbs the tower's stairs, Melissa accidentally knocks over her solar panel, an important power source. However, she does not let this incident shake her and remains focused on her goal. She contacts the other rangers to report the situation of the injured camper and request help to rescue her. The man on the other side says Captain Edgewood is patrolling nearby and will be there soon. She returns with the first aid kit, but cannot find Conley anywhere. Upon searching more closely, the young woman sees that the woman is a little further ahead, staring intently at the forest. Melissa approaches and asks if there is something bothering her. Conley does not respond, but her expression of panic says it all. On the other hand, Captain Edgewood is patrolling with his team when he receives the rescue request. Despite his reluctance, he knows he needs to act. With a sigh, Edgewood decides to help and starts making his way to Melissa's tower. As they move away, Skeeter appears again, lurking in the area. A few hours later, Edgewood arrives, and Melissa quickly reports Conley's burns and shock state. One of the rangers takes the woman to the car, while Edgewood approaches Melissa with a severe expression. He reminds her that her job is to stay in the tower, monitoring for possible fires, not exploring the forest. Before stepping away, he also instructs her to fix the solar panel by the next report. Melissa is stressed by the situation and ends up falling asleep. When she wakes up, she realizes she is late to send the report, but still sends it, already expecting a scolding from Edgewood. Fortunately, the person answering on the other end is a fellow forest ranger who reassures her and tells her not to worry about it. Afterwards, she goes down to restart the generator, and when she returns, she finds a bag thrown on the ground. Curious, she decides to pick it up. Upon opening the bag, she discovers various different stones inside, which sparks her curiosity. During the night, she examines a magazine with documentation on each stone, reflecting on Conley's words. Her concentration is interrupted when Roy calls. He says he already knows about what happened and advises her not to worry about what Edgewood said, stating that the woman is only alive thanks to her. She thanks her friend for the kind words and feels relieved. She notices a storm approaching while Skeeter is seen exploring the forest in the distance. While rummaging on the ground, he finds a shiny stone similar to the ones Melissa has. Melissa says goodbye to Roy when suddenly the lights go out. Deciding to sleep early, she puts on her headphones but soon realizes her phone is dead. Strangely, the radio turns on by itself, making her approach suspiciously. She grabs the microphone and asks if Roy is on the frequency, but there is no answer. As she steps away, the frequency changes automatically, and a sinister voice begins to echo through the radio, terrifying Melissa. The next day, she wakes up without the same enthusiasm as before, but continues to fulfill her duties with determination. She decides to disobey Edgewood's orders and packs her backpack to investigate the camp. Then, she descends from the tower and begins to walk towards the location, ignoring her companion's calls. Upon arrival, Melissa begins taking some photos until she is interrupted by a camper. The young man approaches and asks what happened there, but Melissa admits she has no idea. He suggests it might have been a bear and asks if he needs to worry since he is camping half a mile away. Melissa reassures him, stating that this is not the work of a bear. Changing the subject, she questions if he noticed anything strange during the storm the night before. He responds with a smile, saying he only noticed the storm and tries to make small talk. But Melissa is not in the mood for jokes and quickly shuts down. The stranger, understanding the hint, says he is going back to set up his camp. Before he leaves, Melissa wishes him a good day. He thanks her and wishes her to stay safe. This remark raises Melissa's suspicion, prompting her to take a photo of him too. Later, she spends some time on the tower's balcony, and during the night, she starts a conversation with her friend Roy. He again questions what she is running away from and apologizes if he is being too intrusive, but comments that, in his defense, he only does this because his wife is a psychiatrist, and so many years of companionship have given him some experience. In the middle of their conversation, she discovers that Roy's wife has recently passed away, and she expresses her condolences. He tells her not to feel bad because when he sits in the tower and sees the trees and mountains, he only has good memories of her. With the connection established with Roy, Melissa decides to open up about her search for something meaningful, and Roy, in turn, reveals that he had already suspected this. She explains that she moved to that location in search of recovery, as she couldn't find happiness in her previous life, although she acknowledges that she is just avoiding her problems. Roy encourages her to face her difficulties and to do things that make her happy. Unable to sleep, Melissa wakes up and revisits the photo she took of the tent, a thought that does not leave her. On the fourth day, she gets up, completes her daily duties, and hurries to the forest. The mysterious man she had encountered earlier is also venturing into the woods. While walking, Melissa begins to hear a terrifying noise coming from the forest. The sound intensifies, and terrified, she decides to run, but in the process, ends up getting caught in a trap. She tries to free herself, but as she strains against the trap, she feels a terrible pain and becomes desperate upon hearing the noise again. The unknown man appears and runs to help her, but Melissa is still suspicious of him. She stands up and says she is in great pain and thinks she won't be able to walk. He offers to take her to the tower. Intrigued, Melissa says she never told him where she was, but he insists that she mentioned it. Melissa begins to back away, thanking him for his help, but asserting that she doesn't need him to return. The man raises his voice and states that he needs to help her get back. She tries to deny it, but he persists. Melissa pulls out bear spray and points it at the man, who claims that her actions are not fair. He informs her that she possesses something that belongs to him and that he will go with or without her consent. When he advances toward her, Melissa quickly sprays him, but it has no effect, infuriating the man, who snatches the spray from her hands and demands that she start walking. At that moment, Sam and Buck arrive and save Melissa, warning the man to stay away. The trio seems to know each other, and the mysterious man says he is tired of all this before stepping back. Sam rushes to Melissa to help her escape, while Buck stands guard to prevent the man from coming closer. The man continues advancing towards Buck, who tries to shoot but misses. The man approaches and grips Buck by the neck, demanding that he return what belongs to him. Quickly, he pulls out a strange object from Buck's pocket and then kills him. Sam and Melissa begin to run for their lives, but she trips along the way. When she looks around, she becomes frightened to realize the man is no longer there. Sam returns to help her and manages to get her to the car, but, to their surprise, the man appears next to Melissa. When Sam starts the car, the man holds the vehicle with superhuman strength, preventing their escape. Melissa acts fast, grabs Sam's bow and aims it at him. The man releases the car and warns that they will see each other again soon. During the ride, Sam comments that he already warned Melissa about the strange people in that place. She asks who that man was, and Sam reveals that he is the devil. Then she asks where Skeeter is, and he replies that they are going to get him. Upon arriving, they find Skeeter injured and bleeding. Sam says he will help him and asks her to stay in the car. Melissa complies, but soon realizes the man is approaching and starts honking the horn to alert Sam. Trying to start the car, she discovers it is not working. Turning around, she sees the man next to her. He tears the car door off, and just as he is about to grab her, he is attacked by Sam, who throws him to the ground. Sam manages to land a few blows and, in a swift motion, tosses the stone away to distract the man. The stranger goes after her, but Sam captures him and starts to choke him with a rope. Skeeter, who has been watching the fight, suddenly faints. Taking advantage of the confusion, Melissa runs and hides in the cabin. The man quickly overpowers Sam and kills him with a knife. He then grabs the object that was with Sam and turns his attention to Melissa. She tries to crawl away to escape, but he continues searching for her, stating that he only wants what she took. He warns her that there is nowhere to run and that if she cooperates, she may live. He approaches a tent, believing she is inside, but soon realizes it is a trap while she escapes the other way. At that moment, Skeeter appears and asks what the man did to him. The man responds that he gave Skeeter a gift that his human body could never give. Skeeter tells Melissa to run, as he will take care of the man. The man smiles, and when Skeeter shoots, he quickly dodges. With terrifying speed, he closes in on Skeeter and kills him with multiple strikes. The man then turns his attention back to Melissa, who tries to escape, but it is futile as he possesses superhuman speed. Melissa grabs a stick for protection and asks the man what he wants from her. He replies that she possesses something that belongs to him. In a fit of rage, she yells that she has nothing of his, but he smiles, realizing she still does not know what it is. She attempts to hit him with the stick, but he easily defends himself. At that moment, she notices a strange amulet on the man's arm, who reveals that it is nothing compared to the complete object and that she will understand soon. He grabs her by the hair and begins to drag her, but Melissa manages to grab a stone and hit him in the hand, damaging the amulet. Furious, he tries to attack her, but is struck in the head. Melissa begins to flee, and as he notices he is bleeding, he fills with rage and pursues her again. Coincidentally, the man's blood is similar to what she found earlier. She runs through the forest while the man struggles to keep up with her, feeling weak until he falls to the ground, but finding the strength to continue. Melissa reaches the tower, quickly climbs the stairs, hides the unknown stones, and grabs an axe for protection. Suddenly, a mysterious man appears, and startled, Melissa asks who he is. He responds that he is her friend Roy, but soon he is attacked and thrown down the tower by the man. The aggressor enters the tower and searches for the stones while Melissa watches her friend lying on the ground. Gathering her courage, she decides to face him, takes the remaining stones, and throws them from the top of the tower, causing the man to run after them. Armoring herself with the axe, she runs to check on Roy and discovers he is alive but gravely injured. The man searches for his belongings and finds a stone, but soon realizes it is just an ordinary stone. Enraged, he advances toward Melissa and asks why she is doing this. When he is about to attack her, she quickly strikes a blow with the axe to his shoulder, causing him to fall to the ground in intense pain while Melissa sits down to rest. Meanwhile, we discover that the creature has the power to transfer its consciousness to a new host and decides to use Roy's body. Seeing that he is alive and dragging himself, Melissa runs scared to the car. When she tries to call for help, she finds that the creature is using the radio to communicate, insisting that she return its belongings. The creature crawls toward her as she prepares to attack, but it abandons Roy's body due to his injuries. Relieved to see her friend has returned, she becomes emboldened to attack him, saying that everything will be all right because she asked for help. Later, upon returning to the tower, she considers asking for help via radio, but knows that Edgewood's men won't come for any reason. Thus, she throws the tower's radio and starts the generator to draw their attention. The next day, Edgewood arrives at the site with Billy and asks what happened, but upon noticing that Melissa is extremely shaken, he decides not to press her and takes her to the car. Meanwhile, Billy stays behind checking the bodies and finds the black slime, touching it absent-mindedly. Edgewood tells Melissa to stay in the car while he goes to get his things from the tower. Edgewood asks Billy to stay at Melissa's post, explaining that it will be difficult to find 2 new rangers. Billy agrees, and then Edgewood says goodbye, taking Melissa with him. Billy digs into the supply bucket and finds the stone, and in the end, we discover that the entity had indeed possessed him.